Good morning. Welcome to the morning forecast discussion for December 6th, 2011. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about as we are going to set up some major changes for the northern Mid-Atlantic. Temperatures throughout the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area range from the lower 60s over southern New Jersey and portions of southeastern Pennsylvania, all the way to the mid-50s in central Connecticut. Clearly, we are in a very warm weather pattern. But that is not going to last very long. We have a cold front that is further off to the west, and much colder temperatures are on the way. In fact, temperatures in the Ohio River Valley are in the upper 30s to lower 40s, and even colder weather conditions are setting up in the northern plains and central Great Lakes, where temperatures are in the single digits, teens, and 20s. So yes, colder air is on the way. You can see on the surface map our cold front is slowly moving east, and as a result you can see our thermal gradient and moisture gradient also setting up over central Pennsylvania. That will slowly slide to the south and east today, producing scattered showers throughout the region. Further to the west, you can see there isn't much in the way going on as far as the pressure gradient starting to slacken off as high pressure is building in. But the point here is that we have a cold front setting up, and with that cold front we have scattered showers developing throughout the northern Mid-Atlantic. You can see it's starting to develop rather nicely over portions of Connecticut, the New York City metropolitan area, down through central New Jersey, and off towards the southern Mid-Atlantic as well. These showers will continue to train over the region through this afternoon, into the overnight hours, and into tomorrow. Then it gets very interesting. Let me pull up the infrared satellite picture. And you can see our cold front slowly slipping to the south and east. Eventually the cold front will get off of the coast and we'll start to build in some colder air. However, there's this disturbance right here. This disturbance is going to basically interact with this frontal boundary and enhance this area low pressure that will track towards the Virginia coastline and then towards the New Jersey coastal waters tomorrow night into Thursday morning. And when it does that, well, it's going to intensify rapidly. I'm going to show you why in just a second. But this low pressure system is going to bring a threat for snowfall, accumulating snowfall for the interior, and a little bit of snow for the coast as well, although I don't expect many locations to experience accumulating snowfall. When we take a look at the model guidance, you can see we're starting out from earlier this morning. Our disturbance is moving through the southern plains. As it's moving through, our cold front is slowly moving off of the east coast, and you can see that area of showers is training over the northern Atlantic through that entire time period. By tomorrow morning, rain will be heavy at times. Now this is where it gets interesting. This disturbance here is going to swing to the northeast. Meanwhile, our polar vortex is dropping a little bit further south. That's this right here. As it's doing so, it's going to create what's called divergence aloft. That basically means air is rising rapidly. So by tomorrow afternoon, you can see our disturbance moving towards the Tennessee River Valley. It's becoming what's called negatively tilted. Obviously, it's very intense. By tomorrow evening, here it is, approaching the southern Mid-Atlantic, plenty of lifting. Here's our low pressure system intensifying. Again, we are now on the cold side of this cold front. And I want to make it clear here for the I-95 corridor, this is mostly a rain threat, not a snow threat, because our temperatures are just a little bit too warm. But keep an eye on this storm as it's moving through the region overnight on Wednesday into Thursday morning. Notice our cold air starts to invade even the coastal plain. It's going to take a little bit of time for that cold air to get into the coastal plain though and knock down our temperatures. So what I'm expecting is rain to change over to snow rather rapidly over the interior, and especially for higher elevations, but take its time doing so along the coast. And when it does so, it'll have a little bit of a difficult time accumulating. The one difference though this time is that this storm is happening at night and early in the morning, so the cooling of the boundary layer will be a little bit easier. By Thursday morning, this storm is booking and kicking out of here because we have still a, let's say, positive North Atlantic oscillation. It is falling, it is changing, but we're still at a state where we don't have much blocking in the Northern Atlantic. So this storm will not be hanging around all that long. It's going to be a quick hit in and out, and by Thursday morning, clearing skies can be expected from west to east. And then by Thursday, it's going to be much colder, but also drier, with dry conditions in place. Moving on through the weekend, not too bad. Dry conditions for the most part. There could be a cold front that will produce a few isolated showers on Saturday. Other than that, cold air will be in place. We will be dealing with temperatures that are seasonable or slightly below normal through this entire weekend. But the good news is that it will be dry and quiet for you to go out and do your shopping. Now, let's talk about our forecast for this snow threat. What I have in place over the interior is the following. If you are in, let's say, Reading, Pennsylvania, Allentown, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, if you're in northwestern New Jersey, like around in Sussex County, I'm looking at anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow in these locations. Possibly locally higher amounts for locations above 1,000 feet. I would not be surprised if someone pulls out a foot of snow out of this event. And again, it's going to be a very fast-moving, quick-hitting snowstorm. So, if you are in the higher elevations above 1,000 feet, do not be surprised if, let's say, your town gets 12 inches and someone else gets maybe only 6 inches. And the reason why is because of what's called mesoscale banding. It's localized. It's kind of like trying to forecast a localized thunderstorm in the summer. Sometimes they hit one area, don't hit another area, and you end up with rather interesting bullseye type snowfall amounts in these type of storms. And that heavy snow threat will continue to extend into Connecticut and, of course, the Hudson River Valley. Just north and west of the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area, I'm expecting anywhere from 1 to 4 inches. 4 inches as you move more north and west. Around an inch possible around Philadelphia. I'm talking about grassy surfaces here. Not much in the way on the roadways, I don't think. And then as we go right along the immediate coast, this will cover much of southern and central New Jersey, the New York City metropolitan area, and Long Island. I'm looking at a trace to maybe an inch. The rain will be mixing over and changing over to snow early on Thursday morning. Not a major snow threat whatsoever for the big cities, but still something to keep an eye on and something that will make the roads rather slick on the Thursday morning rush hour. That is your morning forecast discussion. I will continue to keep an eye on this developing storm and keep you abreast of any changes. But for now, looks like this is mostly an interior event. That is your morning forecast discussion. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Stay safe out there.